It's funny, this podcast is meant to be about ikigai, but I do explore all these other areas. And one thing I do think is important to say, yeah, that for a lot of Japanese, life is hard, especially I think in big cities and where maybe people are isolated from family and they take on these ambitious roles or jobs, and it doesn't turn out to be what they hope. So the short
Yeah.
answer, I mean, is the question I'm really asking is, for many Japanese, is daily living hard?
I think that's such a nuanced question, and I also think it's important, and I really appreciate the fact that we talk about these topics, because I sometimes think, of course, the health metrics of Japan are very strong. They're considered the longevity nation of the world. Obesity rates compared to other countries is low, and they live a long lifespan, which I think is fantastic. At the same time, I think to your earlier point about how things have been changing, the concept of overworked, while even with the pay, salaries not increasing significantly, like that's a metric that is important. And I think daily living is getting harder. And a stat that I always reference is, like the percentages of people that both, parents or both female and husband and wife have to work to make ends meet for the child have continuously been increasing. That is a metric that is important. So that because it's just getting harder to live in Japan.
Yeah, it's interesting because all my good Japanese friends, they're entrepreneurial. So I really don't have a Japanese friend who, works at an office or has some sort of high pressure role. But I remember seeing some aspects of what it means to be perhaps a salary man and seeing crowded trains and drunk men almost every night going home. And I actually remember a campaign quite a while ago, and it was trying to highlight fathers who were working excessively and not spending enough time with their children. I can't remember exactly, but it was something like, just being a father doesn't make you a dad, that kind of nuance, that if you're just a biological father, but you're not at home. And it has this, it was like a show and tell with parents. And so you had these fathers come in and saying, oh, yeah, Hiroshi loves baseball and he loves collecting cards and he plays Little League. And then you have this father, he says, my son, he likes, and he doesn't know what he likes, and he's sort of mumbling and he has no idea. So it was quite a powerful commercial. So there seems to be, and this is more than 10 years ago, so there is this awareness, but there just doesn't seem to be, I don't know, enough solutions. And I don't think this is a solution for Japanese, because as we'll discover, ikigai it's not really a special word in the context of Japanese culture, yeah? So it's not like, ikigai is the solution to all these problems in Japan. But I would imagine having a strong sense of ikigai would help. So yeah, to some degree, would ikigai be an answer for this hard lifestyle?
I think, I actually do think so to a certain degree, because I think the concept of ikigai, which I'm sure you've articulated in your previous concept, episodes, but in many ways is your reason for being, is how I would translate it, because it's a concept and it's really more of an appreciation. So for me, if the answer ikigai to living a hard life, in many ways it can be. One, it means that your life is worth living.
Yes.
Which is really important. I don't think it's a given, like that most people think that. And two, I think if we understand that ikigai is not something we think about, but we more know, that knowing is so important, because the knowing comes more from our spiritual, from our heart, from our spirit, soul, and that could help us really check in with ourselves, with our inner self, which is going to be helpful, because I think Japanese people are suffering because they haven't been given the opportunity to think about themselves.
I guess one thing we can say is having a hard life, I mean, even having a challenging life can mean you still have ikigai. An easy life won't result in a lot of ikigai. So from our life challenges, we make meaning of them, then we get a sense of what it means to, to fight for something or to care about something. Or our challenges can be very meaningful and we discover who we are. So perhaps in a hard life, if we're lucky, we do find a sense that life is worth living if we can get through them.